Welcome to the 2023 F1 McLaren car launch.
Little change.
Oh.
No, it looks very similar to me.
There it is. And that is practically the same.
Yeah, but with even more black by the look of it for a bit of weight saving.
Oh, we do love a bit of weight saving.
It looks good though. I think it does look cool. It looks a lot better than it did last year.
It's a bit too much black, I think.
Yeah, it's basically like we want to be papaya, but we also need to save weight a lot.
Tommy, it was very much the same. There's not a huge amount of craziness to talk about, but slightly more black, slightly more carbon.
Personally, I actually like it. I actually do like this. I really didn't like the livery last year when it was first released, but I think they've neatened it up a little bit. It is a shame that there's so much black. Unfortunately, that's just a modern trend of Formula One, a trend that I really hope gets kind of nipped in the bud quickly by the rule makers or something, because it is a shame that we're just getting down this line of, in 3 years' time, it feels like every car will just be carbon with like a line of colour on to distinguish what the car is. So, but no, I like it.
But no, I wish there was a bit more orange, personally. It feels like a lot of the cars are going to have quite a bit of carbon on it. But no, it's not a terrible livery by any stretch. I still love the chrome wheel covers. I think that's that's an awesome way of doing the whole Google sponsorship, in my opinion. And it's not by any means a bad livery. I think it's a slight step back from the more orange car that I quite enjoyed. The car launch itself, Tommy, let's talk about that. I think McLaren have absolutely stuck a nail in it and smashed it, because
agreed.
They did a bit of historical montage. They had a bit of chat with, Zach Brown, Andrea Stella, not Andrea Seidel, Andrea Stella, you boss at McLaren. And then, of course, you had Lando and Oscar as well, have a bit of a chit chat with them, but it was nicely wrapped up.
I agree. They have absolutely nailed that. Nice historical video about Formula One that keeps you interested. Then fair play. I don't mind people coming out and having a chat, because it's the drivers. It's not the CEO of Google Chrome chatting for 40 minutes about how great Google Chrome is. We want the drivers come out. It's interesting. We get a nice little bit of build up for them to talk about it. The team principal and Zach Brown came out, had a short chat, and then straight onto the car reveal. I think they've absolutely nailed this, and I think this is a lesson to car launches, how it should be.
Now all McLaren have to do, was it fearlessly forward? What did they call it? What did they say?
Yeah,
or forever forward? Or was it forever forward?
I think it was forever forward.
One of those. So that means they cannot finish fifth or below in the constructors after saying that.
That's a lot of pressure.
Will McLaren break into the top four? Because there's a big question surrounding them, not over their driver lineup as such. Norris and Piastri, I think, are going to be a great pairing, but the fact that they've lost Andrea Seidel. And you do wonder if there's going to be a teething period for McLaren. Can they break into that top four? I think it's doubtful.
Yeah, I'd be surprised. I'm not hugely hopeful of McLaren making a big step forward. That car launch, the montage showing the likes of Senna, Prost, Hakkinen, Hamilton, all these champions that they had, the good years at McLaren where they were the dominant force, and then to be like, this is not the end, this is the beginning, or whatever, and whole fearlessly forward or whatever it's called. And then if they finish sixth in the constructors, it would be a bit embarrassing, wouldn't it? So they need to make a step forward. It's where they should be. They've got, in my opinion, one of the best drivers on the grid in Lando Norris, and the best upcoming talent there's been in a while in Piastri. So they need to deliver for those two drivers.
So overall then, Tommy, where do you think McLaren are going to finish this year?
Fifth or sixth.
Okay, I'm going to go with fifth. I don't think it's fearlessly stalemate, which is not quite the same.
Fearlessly slightly backwards.
Right, let's move on now to the Aston Martin car launch, almost seamlessly.
Oh, here we go.
Here we go.
It's the
same. It's the exact same.
There we go. Expected. It's a great
I mean,
livery.
I'm sorry, but you cannot have that long of suspense for the same livery with a slight shade of difference with the green. But at least there's not too much carbon on it that it loses its identity a little bit. You know what I mean? Like, it's a sexy car. I'm not going to lie to you. I love the stripe on the side. I love the green. I actually, to be honest, I'm not even going to complain that they haven't really changed it. I think it's a winner.
Yeah, it was one of the best liveries last year. The fact that all these teams now are doing the whole carbon thing, maybe by race 3, it's just carbon with that little yellow stripe on. Hopefully not, but it's a great car. You can see why they've not changed it. They nailed it last year by getting rid of the BWT pink, if you like, and having that kind of AMR green on it. And it's just a great looking car. So you can't be too mad.
What about the launch? Now, I know you kind of spoke about Lawrence Stroll, and we were having quite an interesting discussion, actually, over on Twitch, Matt P1 Tommy, if you don't follow us already, where during the launch, of course, we were doing a watch-along, and we both came to the same opinion that the way in which Aston Martin deliver their brand to Formula One fans is not exactly the most easy-to-love brand out there. And you kind of likened it to McLaren 20 years ago, where they were very much like a stiff, upper-class, rich person's kind of brand, and you don't really have that accessibility factor to them. Whereas McLaren obviously changed their sort of tone of voice and how they approach fans massively, and they became one of the most liked teams in the sport. Aston, on the other hand, not so much.
No, kind of opposite. And you could kind of maybe understand if they were that way, if they were like McLaren 20 years ago, where they were absolutely dominant, winning, and it's like, we're the best, we make the best cars, we don't need to sort of, appeal to fans because we are just this kind of corporate amazing car brand. But I don't know, there's just something a bit not hugely likable about them, and this is obviously me, and anyone that knows me will know that I love the plucky underdogs, and obviously they took over the pluckiest of all underdogs when they were Racing Point, and they somehow finished, was it 3rd or 4th in a Constructors' Championship when they essentially had a shed to make their car in, and now they've got this swanky new factory. So like McLaren that we were talking about earlier, we need to see some improvement from Aston Martin, because that 5-year plan is creeping up.
It's clearly something that, for me, clearly, this 5-year plan, if they don't deliver on that and start winning races by then, Aston Martin are going to question whether Formula One's even the right sport for them to be in, because it doesn't match their luxury, top of the pile kind of brand image that they're trying to get across. They can't be a midfield car forever. Otherwise, it just doesn't fit with what Aston Martin is supposedly. How do we think they're going to do this season? I'm not convinced that Aston Martin are going to be particularly good. Obviously, Fernando Alonso will rag the absolute life out of the car. But if you've seen our 2023 predictions video and stream, I essentially thought that Alonso was going to 23-0 Lance Stroll in qualifying. So I think it's going to be very much a one-sided team in terms of performances. That's not to say that Stroll hasn't delivered in races sometimes. We've seen... when he was alongside Vettel, he'd be qualifying 17th and then appear in 10th at the end of the race and bag a point. So it's still going to be interesting, but Fernando, for me, should wipe the floor with Lance. And as a team overall, I just feel like it's going to be much of the same as what we saw last year.
I'm going to double down on my prediction of Alonso finishing P7, and I'm going to say that Aston Martin finished 4th in the Constructors' title. They beat McLaren and Alpine, and are moving on up.
Aston Martin are going to finish 4th in the Constructors?
Yeah, that's my prediction. Clip it now, chat.
Twitch chat are reacting to this right now, saying, bold that. No way, Tommy. But, okay, interesting. I think they'll finish about 7th in the Constructors. And we will see, though. Tommy, final thoughts?
I genuinely feel like I'm about to wake up any moment, because we've not even been started a week yet, and the support has been unbelievable. Seeing you guys share that you're listening to the podcast, watching the videos and stuff from all around the world, seeing where we are in the charts, it's been incredible. So yes, exciting times ahead and more car launches to come. Love to see it.
Cannot wait. Thank you so much for watching and listening. We'll see you tomorrow for the Constructors and Drivers World Championship car launch, Ferrari. And it's on Valentine's Day as well. So lots of love to them tomorrow. Cannot wait. On that note, we'll see you very soon, audio/YouTube people. Bye.
Bye.